But today, man, we're gonna talk about this damn new mizzle, this new moon, man. I was hold on. I was looking at it. I thought it was. I panicked because I looked at a calendar and it said that the new moon was tonight when I thought it was Thursday. But I seen two different calendars say two different things, so I was just like, man, let me just do this video, get it out the way because I want people to be prepared. I'd rather you stay ready than have to get ready. Um, I usually don't do two videos in a day, but I've been really tapping into my herbs, man. So they kind of energizing me and charging me on a whole different wavelength, on a whole different level. So just want to first say thank y'all for watching. Thanks for pulling up. And basically, let's just get into this information. Let me pull my screen up. Let me pull. So today we're gonna be discussing a new. Oh yeah, can't forget. Make sure you god dang on join the Substack. Link is in the description, or you can scan this QR code, get access to monthly live readings. We're about to start doing mini courses very soon, so you'll get access to that. Everything is going to be $5 a month, but it's also a free tier, which you'll get updated every time I go live, because YouTube is not going to let you know. I didn't notify the tribe that I went live today because I didn't want to spam y'all emails. You feel me? I'm real cautious about that. So I don't want people to just feel like I'm spamming their emails, but I will upload this video with my notes and things of that nature tomorrow morning for the Substack family. So you can start your day well and prepared, setting your intentions for these next 28 days because, as I always say, if you don't set your intentions for yourself, somebody else is going to set your intentions for you, and you are not going to like it. So, in reference to a new moon in Pisces, we are going to have for all points and particulars a difficult conversation. However, I want to reiterate, firstly, but not lastly, difficult does not mean impossible. Difficult relationship, difficult appearance, difficult job, difficult calling does not mean impossible relationship, does not mean impossible appearance makeover, does not mean impossible job. It does not mean impossible calling. Okay. So we're going to be able to set intentions in the realm of all things difficult, which is really a joy when you really think about it. But if you're trying to live life on easy mode and not get better, then these particular paradigms are paradigms that you will not touch. And it's not to say that difficult even means hard. Difficult just means that it might take a long time. It might not be simple to grasp. You might need to put in the man hours to grasp it, to understand it. But at the same time, it's achievable with a little bit of effort. So, as I stated earlier, we have two conflicting dates for this new moon. I've seen it to be today at 9:23, but also tomorrow at 1:23. So we're going to put it in betwixt those two times and dates. So another thing that we want to reference in reference to the new moon, it's okay if you watch this video a day, 2 days, 3 days after, because new moon energy transits and currents last 3 days before and 3 days after. So without further ado, the four major points that we're going to be discussing throughout this entire build, which is only about 9 slides. Want to just give everybody a rough overview, but also give people some homework to do once the video is over, because that's the purpose of the content, to make you take an interest in yourself from an astrological perspective, and therefore benefit in some way from taking a look at yourself at a perspective that maybe you didn't understand. So the word that just keeps coming into my mind in reference to Saturn is difficult, but trying to fully comprehend it is like algebra 2 is difficult to comprehend. But once you fully comprehend it, you feel empowered by the fact that you know a particular subject. So think about any form of self-mastery, any form of development, the concept of difficult shouldn't scare you away. So Saturn amplified, if that word just can't go into the realm of abstract, the word of application is difficulty. So the difficulty is amplified. But I'm gonna reiterate it once again. I don't want you to be afraid of it. Saturn don't want you to be afraid of it. A lot of these energies is centered around Saturn, especially this new moon in Pisces. Another concept that we want to kind of focus in on is the foundation, which doesn't get a lot of credit, doesn't get a lot of praise, but the stability of said enterprise kind of hinges on whether or not you have a foundation or not. So when you try to figure out where this new moon is taking place in your chart, in which house it's happening in, one needs to establish a foundation as well as an intention. Because when you're dealing with the particular nakshatra, Uttara Bhadrapada is actually a twin to the nakshatra Purva Bhadrapada, meaning that these two energies work in tandem, meaning that your foundation and your intention should work in tandem. So often we have just the pure intention without a foundation, and we wonder why. But then when we look at our successful endeavors, there was a discipline about it. You woke up every morning at a particular time. You worked on a particular project for a particular amount of time throughout the day. So these are all Saturn principles, whether you have Chronos, the god of time, you have discipline and time. What are you going to do? How long are you going to do it in reference to what you want to accomplish? But then also, when you are particular about a focus, when you are particular about what you are building, you got to get rid of all of the frilly, willy-nilly shenanigans, right? New moon in Pisces in your 7th house, you got a bunch of sneaky links, but you want to have a quality marriage, one would have to release the sneaky links. But I promise you, Saturn is not trying to scare you in reference to this new moon in Pisces. None of these energies is trying to scare you, but they're trying to bring you into what Talib Kweli would call a beautiful struggle, or a purposeful struggle, or the passion of the Christ. I'm willing to struggle for something that I believe in, that I love, that I trust, that's going to work out in my favor. So far, let me know if I'm making sense. One's in the chat if I'm making sense. One's in the chat if you can hear me okay. Like the video if you find yourself in this particular space ready to hear this conversation. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video with somebody who may need to hear this. So one come all. I had a particular vision of this particular new moon that I kind of just combined a couple of images to make it make sense. So on one level, we have the Hindu god Shani, or the personification of Saturn, Kronos, the grand architect of karma, the god of time. And then another level of this is Kundalini energy, our chakras, which act as vortices or vortexes for the type of things that we wish to attract in this life, because you are an electromagnetic being. The focus of your particular energy is up to you. I want y'all to put a 1 in the chat if this makes sense. You can focus on bullshit, or you can focus on developing yourself to the highest quality and standard of your personal life. In this lifetime, you can accomplish greatness if you choose to focus on it. If you understand that you can do it, that begins to change your vortex or your chakras or your vortices. But Saturn being on top of these particular energies, it then begins to be a discipline to shift your electromagnetic reception to that of one of a receptive of the highest quality and good, versus a transmission of shame, guilt, embarrassment, sadness, blah, 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 which is also an attracting point. So at the third level of this is the tree of life, which kind of brings it all together, where you have your upper chakras and your lower chakras. When you get into the particular nakshatra of this new moon, the deity is a deity by the name of I'll just call him Airbud, like the movie that came out in the 90s or the early 2000s. Airbudnenia, something to that effect. But I bring him up just to say that this particular deity, one of his calling cards is being able to bring the higher realms into the lower realms. So if you're able to understand and overstand the previous video that I did earlier today in reference to Doth, then you're able to correlate that this is a Doth entity, or this is a Doth or time for knowledge. And true knowledge is when the celestials rain upon the earth high advanced knowledge. In reference to the houses, it's going to hit us all differently, because we all got different missions. We all can't work at the Amazon. 1 in the chat. We all can't work at the post office. We all can't, do deliveries for Pizza Hut. We all can't work at the corporation downtown. We all got to have a spread out mission throughout the universe, to which that is well and good. But my main important hope and goal for each and every person is that you leave this video knowing at least where you can find the direction for your own personal life. Because I promise you, it's nothing like forging your own path in reference to a path that God have given you. A ministry that you know for a fact that you ain't shit. but God is the greatest. And it ain't on you. It ain't on you to be God. It's on you to be a proper messenger, a proper channel for said entity. So when you put all three of these images together, then you will I hope that you're able to understand the power that one possesses in reference to setting his intention, garnering a foundation, and changing the vortexes for that allow you to receive at the highest level, because not because you joined the secret society or they picked you first on the volleyball team. You got a certificate in the 4th grade that said you was a excellent blah blah blah, right? I mean, because you understand spiritual energy, you are going to receive at a level for that fact alone. I want y'all to really understand what I'm trying to say. Because everybody up to this point have been trying to qualify and quantify and make it to where as a certain rule as to why you shouldn't be given the ultimate enlightenment. Well, I'm going to tell you that's all bullshit. You have chakras. You have electromagnetic energy within you. You can alter the universe by changing your electromagnetic energy. I'm not making up these concepts or terms or themes. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You have electromagnetic energy, and you can change it by what? Your vibratory focus. Lust has this particular vibratory reception. When you get to levels of peace and higher qualities of life, you don't even attract, you rarely attract people at all. But if you lower your energy to a pure lust, you watch how many people come out the woodworks wanting to hang out. Hey, you on the same frequency as me. Let's hang out. Let's do something. That's why people don't raise their frequency. That point exactly right there. But once again, we're talking about, for a very simplified term, the law of attraction, and mastering the law of attraction through time, because that's the missing element. At least for me, I was reading a book trying to manifest shit automatically. One's in the chat. I was trying to, man, if this shit don't work in the next 2 hours, it's bullshit. So I didn't get it, right? This is why Shani, Saturn, the grand architect of karma, is on top of all of this energy. If you want to get a deeper understanding, Chronos, the god of time, right? Effort. Meaning that this shit might be difficult, but it's not bad. This shit might be difficult, but it's not impossible. Difficult is just difficult, and you can do difficult things. So it may be for you to start your own damn Substack and create your own niche and crowd and opportunities for yourself. But to build up a particular platform, guess what that is, y'all? Difficult. But it's not bad. It's not impossible. It's just difficult. And I hope that y'all are able to understand and understand that as we go forward with this transmission and with this message. So if you like the video, please make sure you like the video. That is going to make it to whereas we get more people to know what we got going on. Okay, so let me figure out what I'm gonna do with myself. Let me go me go. I don't even got no place for myself, you know. Let me come up here with you, Venus. Let's give Saturn, Neptune, Sun, and the Moon some time to shine. You feel what I'm saying? So we got a basic stellium in the constellation of Pisces. Pisces being the 12th house. I find Pisces to be the furthest away from the first house, but also the closest to the first house. It's like the purpose of it all is to restart it all. So what does this mean? If you have been through a particular cycle before and you have to go through a cycle, hopefully you know what to expect. Therefore, you could begin to prepare mentally, emotionally, physically on what you need to prepare for so you can not break down but build up. A good thing of studying this new moon in Pisces is to get a grasping of the timing of letting things go and starting new projects. Because what I've been referencing in reference to 2025 going into 2026 being a 1 year, which we've been in a 1 year for this entire 3 months or so. But when you look at it astronomically, this is going to be the last new moon in Pisces, give or take. I'm pretty sure, and I don't want to. And it because it's so early in Pisces, it may be another new moon in Pisces. But the idea still stands. If it may be another new moon in Pisces, it may not be another new moon in Pisces, but the same idea stands as is the last this is the last moon before the true new moon. So when we have the new moon in Aries, that'll be like the beginning of a new phase for real. And so if we could just begin to understand the preparation for that new phase in the cyclical times, it's a real powerful time to do rituals. It's a real powerful time to do spiritual work, role openers in reference to not the life that you have been experiencing, but the life that you want to experience. And for one intention to experience something will be like, okay, that sounds good, but it'll be a whole nother thing to have a foundation. So an example would be, I want to learn how to program AI. That's an intention. But a foundation is saying 5 days a week, 4 hours a day, I'm going to be on Oracle's website learning AI. So that foundation of the implementation of that intention, it kind of makes it to whereas by the time goddamn April come, May come, June come, you on cruise control because you've already understood and overstood that this process was going to be difficult. And I'm just guessing here, but a majority of people do not want to do difficult things. So if you put your mind around doing difficult things, what does this mean? This means that you have an advantage. And niggas will hit you with so much mumbo jumbo about a whole bunch of different things because it's something about the spiritual community that emphasizes the ease of everything that's about to take place. But the reality is like, it's easy if it's difficult. I hope that makes sense. So when we reference a new lunar cycle, we also reference a window of 28 days. The momentum of the past 4 to 5 days should give you kind of what you want to continue on doing or some things that you really need to change. If the energy is high, then you need to keep a note of it and keep that momentum going. If the energy is low, It is time to release. I promise you, you are a human being and you are capable of a lot of things at an autonomous level. When you start screaming and yelling, trying to get your point across, you are in the wrong room. Where do you see yourself in the next 30 days? That's the power of the new moon. When you look at this world and you see 8.8 billion people, that is 8.8 billion intentions, 8.8 billion purposes. And it don't matter the conditions. You could walk up out of the projects into a mansion if you just isolate yourself from the conditions that you were once in to the conditions that you want to see yourself into the future. And I use the analogy specific to the projects to a mansion because one of the key focuses in this particular new moon is centered around property, homes, fixed assets. So what I'm saying is you might be in a particular situation where you say, man, I need to change my living situation, but I don't know how. The concept of how is going to be holding you back because you don't need to figure out how. You need to make sure that you are visualizing and fixated and focused on doing the difficult thing that will give you enough access, enough agency, enough power to change your physical situation. If you sit back on cruise control, comfort zone, woe is me energy, don't release anything, don't let anything go, have all of these existential things going on in your life, and then those existential things calling you with problems and issues, and you Captain Save-O, you are out of alignment with the energy. The only person that you can save is yourself. This is the sign of Pisces. This is the sign of Jesus. There are 12 zodiac signs, but there's also 13 signs when you reference the Ophiuchus sign, which is you. Jesus couldn't save nobody in his hometown. The prodigal son, he left the whole village and he was the one most praised when he came back. What does that mean? It ain't about your actions in reference to what you think you should be doing. It's about your actions in reference to following your own unique path. You don't necessarily know your own unique path and how ordained that unique path is until you do a full 360-degree turn. Because at the 180-degree angle, you saw a whole different reality and you thought this was the end of the road, but then you had to whole completely double back and end up home, and now it makes it makes sense. So at this particular new moon, we're not at 360 degrees, we're at 270 degrees. So what this means is that it's like if you knew better, you would do better. You don't get to this part, you don't get to become an old lady. You ain't never seen an old lady at the strip club. Because if you knew better, you do better. She ain't got time to do that. You only see young people, stupid people that don't know shit. So what we're talking about is true wisdom based upon a whole entire cycle to where it's like, okay, this shit should make sense by now and you should know what it takes. Now, for a lot of us, we have certain degrees where we're awakened to truth versus we only awaken to the little bit of life that we want to see that we can handle. And so the part of life that's kicking our ass is the part that we close our eyes to. And until we open our eyes to it, it's going to continually kick our ass. This is not a trick question. Life is not this huge surprise. You know what you know right from wrong. They say at fucking 6 months, you know right from wrong. But we can consciously do wrong, or you can consciously do right. And this should be your wake-up call. Not this video, but this time. Saturn is the law of karma. So if things are going wrong for you in 2026, March 18th, you get in the weirdest synchronicities, then it's time for you to make some changes. Things ain't moving in your favor. You're not into the flow. You don't drink tea. Your diet is all crazy. The 12th house is like, it's beyond all of that shit. You don't believe in love. You just, you closed off to certain things. By this particular point, you should have your shit together. And what this energy does is it awakens you to the areas to where you don't have your shit together, and it is difficult. Especially like when it comes to your children or your life or your career, all that type of shit. It's time to pay the piper. You made mistakes in parenting. That shit's coming, like the chickens is coming home to roost in 2026, March 17th. You can make the changes. Or you could be blind to it. You know, Lil Tay-Tay, he not bad. He just, you know, I just gotta let him do whatever he want to do. And if I let him do whatever he want to do, he is actually a good kid. If I take things away from him, though, you know, he pulling out the Glock 37, and I'm like, Tay-Tay, no. But anyways, we all got our stories. We all got our journeys. Saturn is the law of karma. Saturn is here to teach you, but it teaches you through uncomfortability or difficult situations. But these are supreme teachings. How do you know where Saturn is in your life? When you go into prison. Saturn is teaching the niggas, every nigga in prison right now, Saturn is, y'all under the jurisdiction of Saturn. Saturn trying to teach y'all a lesson. Sickness, disease, pain. Pain. Think about pain. Think about knee pain. You've been doing the same movement. You've been doing the same movement, been sitting on your ass for 20 years. Talking about it's different ways you got to get the movement, exercising, stretching, or you ain't even going to be able to move. Saturn is teaching through uncomfortability, through pain. And when you experience these pains, these are points where you start to redirect, not shut down. Because previous to this conversation, you heard the word difficult and you shut down. Power off. With all of these particular energies, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Sun, and Moon, Saturn really stands out because he is also the ruler of the first decan of Pisces. So his energy and presence is amplified. And when you reference a new moon over these next 28 days, it's not what you want to do, it's what you better do. If not, you will have to deal with the particular consequences. What are the consequences of not having a foundation? And it's so crazy, you know, like an example would be foundation is more of like a masculine presence. And it don't have to be so much as a man. It could be a doula in reference to a woman having a baby. Now, it's a lot of women that have babies all alone. But a lot of times when you're with a woman and she's having a baby, after it's all said and done, and you've been her foundation and you've been her support, she generally thanks you, whether you're a man or a doula, and she's like appreciative of you, and you're there to support her through the whole process. And they'll say, you know, I would have given up if you wasn't here. And then it makes sense when you think about the epidural numbers and the C-section numbers. How many times the person say, well, I can't do this, I don't want that spirit, let me get this shit over with. And I understand if you're in that situation by yourself and you don't have support. We should be in 2026 and realize that the way for which our children are responding and reacting is because they don't have a foundation. And the reality is that you could build a house without a foundation. You can raise a child without a foundation. And the appearance of a house with a foundation versus a house without a foundation for a long period of time, you don't know the difference. It's only in these deeper caveats and things where you into relationships and trying to work with people who don't have no foundation and things get difficult and they crack under pressure. You ever been working with somebody or in a situation with somebody and shit got real and you put the plan down and the plan scared them? And they said, man, I don't know how we gonna make it. And you said, I'm telling you how we gonna make it. We gonna put our money to the side. We gonna do this. We gonna live in a van for a little bit. We gonna do, oh man, I can't do that. These are people that don't have a foundation. A foundation is saying, when you look at appearances, success, and you say, I want that success, but you don't know what it took to get it, and you just want that success. It's a lot of people that just don't even got success for real. They just got what appears to be success. And on the other end, it might be somebody that you don't even view successful, but they understood the foundation, the business. They dotted their T's and crossed their I's. And it's a lot of people like that that have way more money, way more freedom than a person with fake success. You don't know nobody's situation. You don't know nobody's contract or obligations and how much money people really have or don't have. You have no idea. But the reality is, you could probably bear witness to people who have money, have things going on, and you don't know their name for nothing. Because they got a foundation, they got a structure, they got a plan, and they got people around them that understand that we in a difficult situation. And it's difficult things that need to be undertaken. You need to learn, you got to get better, you got to expand, because what is intelligence? Is intelligence having a lot of information? Or is intelligence your ability to adapt? When we look at the cyclical nature of time, we're talking about our ability to adapt to change, constant change, over and over and over again. And on top of that shit, and not giving a fuck about it. Because who wants to stay the same? Who wants to get old? I had some knee problems, man. I was up at the gym every day trying to stretch that fucking knee problem out. I'm you know, when you have aches and pains, you don't even know if that shit temporary or forever. So I'll be at the gym trying to figure shit out. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? My knee feel great now. But at a certain point, that shit was, I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? So the nakshatra of the new moon, Uttara Bhadrapada. This is the nakshatra of foundation. The moon falls in the Uttara Bhadrapada This nakshatra is ruled by Shani or Saturn. Saturn is also currently transiting here, conjunct Neptune, creating a powerful double amplification that intensifies every theme of this lunation. Some real life things you want to figure or factor in during this time: home and property, long-term plans, fixed assets. What we're trying to get you to think about is the positive outcomes of things. Because the positive outcomes or the positive intentions are a result of your magnetic portion of the electromagnetic double entendre. Magnetizing things is what you do. But if you fixate on lower vibratory frequencies, you magnetize lower vibratory events. Does that make sense? If you fixate on property and home, you know, whether you get a windfall of money, whether you get wind of a government program, whether you just got the credit, whether you get the cash, whether you just know somebody that knows somebody, but it happens for you. And you and your family move into a home that you feel proud of. And you fixate and focus on the next 30 years or the next 10 years in this particular property, as this is the foundation for everything that you do. Whether you're going to invite family members over, have cookouts in your backyard, where you going to raise your family at. Because what you're not about to do is think about this world as a paradigm of flux, instability. You're going to remove that thought process. But when it comes to this particular paradigm of where you see yourself in the next 9 years, next 27 years, what is the foundation for what you are creating? Meaning, what is the discipline? What is the valuable tool that you can utilize to service the collective? What repeatable format can you implement on a daily basis to procure resources for you and your family or your community? You do not have to live in the lower tier of existence. Through your mindset, you can magnetize the highest levels of magnetism. And just by the very thought, you could create a life that you desire. If people are telling you otherwise, they're trying to trick you out of your inheritance. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? The deity of this particular nakshatra is Airbud Ninya. It is the serpent of the depths. It is your root chakra. It is your kundalini. Fellas, I've been telling y'all, semen retention. Start vibrating at a higher frequency. If you feel like semen retention is too hard for you, you are in the lowest vibratory frequency of lust. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? It is going to be hard to manifest higher energies if you are focused on the lowest frequency, lust. You're probably going to manifest another lust demon like you've been manifesting, because what is very important is more to life than lust. So in reference to this particular nakshatra, as I stated earlier, Uttara Bhadrapada is the twin of Falguni Bhadrapada, and Purva Bhadrapada. These particular nakshatras operate as dual or twin energies. When you hear twin energies in a metaphysical understanding, we're talking about the Kundalini twins, the Ida and the Pingala. One would say, well, what's the important part about the Ida and Pingala? It masters everything that you attract, for good or for worse. When you look at the life that you live, it is almost as if you are standing still and life is just coming to you. Have you ever heard the saying that life comes at you fast? This is in reference to your Ida and Pingala. You don't know what, you have no control over what is coming at you. It is almost like you're a walking magnet. So one of the processes is to trust and know God within you, which masters your magnet. When you don't have mastery of your magnet, you live in fear. Fear is a magnet of situations that bring along more fear, more content, more suggestions, more friends, more information that will just create more fear for you, because that's what you have magnetized from your Ida Pingala, your twin vortices of energy. Vortices or vortexes are spinning whirlings of energy that is taking place right now within you. If you were able to spend just a few minutes of meditation and just calm down your body and calm down your mind, these vertices, these vortexes, these chakras will bear witness to you. But you moving and grooving and thinking and doing all types of shit, to whereas you're unable to tap into these particular paradigms. So the Uttara Bhadrapada forms one half of the twin-headed figure, with the Purva Bhadrapada together representing the union of opposites, fire and air, day and night, yin and yang. For the human being, it is the human and the soul. And these are energy vortexes. It's like hot and cold energy. When these particular energies meet at a certain level, it creates a tornado. Within you, it is that same tornado. When you realize that you are a human being, but you also have what Marvel characters have, a superpower. And this activation takes place when you submit into the fact that you are more than what the human could even, what can anybody tell you about you? If you believe that I can tell you something about you that you can't tell you about yourself, then you're just in a state of delusion and denial. The only person that can tell you about you is you. But you must sit down and relax and feel these particular vortexes activate within each area of your endocrine system. This downward vortex, this illumination channels the descending spiral, or the force that brings vision into physical reality. True manifestation requires descending from the abstract into the concrete. So another way I'm saying is set your intentions, or else somebody else will set your intention. And the only problem with this is that the intention that somebody else is setting for you is some shit that you don't like. Hopefully this makes sense. So at another level, we're continuously discussing Saturn and Pisces, because Saturn rules the first decan of Pisces. And one of the cards that are associated with this decan is the Eight of Cups. So basically, I just freestyled various meanings on this particular topic in reference to what I wanted to share with the collective. So we're in the, so as I stated earlier, where we're in the downward spiral. Airbud 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 is a particular deity. Let me just show y'all better than I can tell you. How about that? So one of my references for nakshatras is this book here, The Wisdom of Nakshatras. If you want the PDF, just let me know. In discussing Uttara Bhadrapada, this is actually the 26th nakshatra. So I gotta scroll all the way down. Maybe I went down too far. All right. Let me try to zoom. All right, that's better. So, the cosmic deity of this constellation is a dragon of the depths, Ahir Budnyaya, which has the power to bring down energies from the higher circles to the lower circles. So circles are another word for church, which are another word for chakras, which is another word for Sephiroth or spheres. So in a much more simpler sense, and I want y'all to be able to take this with you, you have the power to manifest at a high level at this particular time. And it may have been a difficult journey for you for these past 9 years. But this 9 years is over with, and you're about to start a new cycle. Do y'all resonate with that? One's in the chat if y'all resonate with that and you're excited about this new cycle. So in the intention phase, the idea is to be idealistic and subtle. You don't want to be matter of fact and abrupt. You kind of just want to meditate and get clear on what you want and get clear on how you're going to do it. If it is difficult for you to do this, then you have to let go of what no longer serves you. What is in your life right now that you're addicted to, that you feel is breaking you down or holding you back? Let it go. If it's agitating you, aggravating you, not bringing you any type of relaxation or ease, it is just bringing you nothing but struggle, let it go. Give it up to God. Because part of this process is making sure that you are going the wrong way. No more are we going to move forward into this 2026 going on autopilot. Autopilot just means that you don't know where the fuck you going. So we're dealing with Pisces, which is a water sign. We're dealing with Saturn, which deals with the structuring, time, discipline. So this is a powerful concept that you're going to have to be able to kind of sit down and be able to process. This is the time where you structure how you want to feel. You don't let the world tell you how you're supposed to feel. You don't let nobody tell you how you're supposed to feel. If you want to feel bliss, if you want to feel nirvana, if you want to feel amazing, if you want to feel joy, then don't say, I want to feel joy, but this motherfucker better stop cheating on me. Right? That's when you got to let go of what no longer serves you. I want to feel joy. I want to be successful, but my kids got to stop behaving in school or stop misbehaving in school. Lil Tay-Tay, his badass, he going to do it. He going to be bad the whole time. 10th grade, 11th grade, that's what Tay-Tay going to do. So what you going to do? You going to take responsibility for Lil Tay-Tay? It get to a certain point with people that you going to have to let them be them. Once again, the difficult process of this energy is that you must structure how you want to feel. And you can't relegate it to, well, if this thing work out for me, then I'm going to feel good. One of the key things we got to fixate and focus on to feel good as if we already accomplished what we set out to accomplish. Because that's the energy we gonna need when we crunching numbers, while we doing Excel spreadsheets, while we fucking learning difficult information. Because if we have a particular thing, well, this supposed to feel good because I'm learning this hard thing in real estate is going to feel good. No, it might suck. But since you structure how you want to feel, it's not going to knock you off your square. This is the most important part. It's so many people that be in relationships with motherfuckers, and this motherfucker just flip the fuck out. And you don't got no control over this. One's in the chat if you ever been in a relationship with somebody that flipped the fuck out. You took responsibility. They gaslit. It's all your fault. And you drove all that shit in, and now you thinking it was your fault. It wasn't your fault. Saturn, structure, Pisces, water, feelings, emotions. This is the deepest shit I could ever say to a nigga. Because the nigga is going to tell me tomorrow how he was watching on the news, how he was pissed off what Trump is doing. I get it. But once again, I'm in the season of structuring how I want to feel. So for the time being, Trump did not call me and say, "Hood, what you think about should I do with Iran?" He didn't do that. He did it. He did his own 1-2 hop, skip, and a jump. So guess what I'm gonna do? My own 1-2. Trump doing this shit. What I'm supposed to do? Go to Washington D.C. and stand in front of the White House and say, "No, Trump." Once again, it's fucked up. It's wrong. But I'm still going to structure how I want to feel. I'm not going to let the world tell me how I'm supposed to feel. And this means girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, kids, government, politics, mama, daddy, sister, cousin, aunt, uncle, associate, supervisor, CEO of the company. Is not about to tell me how I'm supposed to feel about God, the kingdom of heaven being within me. Because whatever a nigga got to say, is Luke 17:21 wrong? Is the kingdom of heaven not within you? So if you haven't found the kingdom of heaven within yourself, that's not my motherfucking fault. We reading the same Bible. We reading the same thing. Ye are gods. Ye are children of the Most High. So if that don't get you to rejoice and feeling amazing about what is happening within you, then nigga, talking about Trump is not what we about to do in 2026. Niggas say, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. I can't even, man, I'm so fucking busy. Spiritual purpose does not drain you. Spiritual purpose energizes you. So commodifying your spiritual gifts, and now I'm like, you gotta show up for the collective for 55, but a nigga just so happen to have 50, 55, and he just want to troll your ass. What you gonna do? Or a nigga want to drain you of your energy because you don't understand the tentacle people. You don't even understand the tentacle people, do you? Nobody even told y'all about the tentacle people, how the tentacle people exist. What's a tentacle person? A tentacle person is a person that going to create a situation where you argue and you fight. Because when you argue and fight, you produce a particular hormone that these tentacle people, man, they love that shit. That shit's like cocaine in the 80s to these niggas. They get ha, 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 off your memories. If it's a motherfucker that you around, that you always got to argue and fight and plead your case and cry, that's a tentacle person. If you around a motherfucker and you in a good mood, and this motherfucker agitated by the fact that you in a good mood, that's a tentacle person. But if you notice a motherfucker calm and content or low-key elated when you in a bad mood, that's because they done stole all your energy and they getting high off your own memories. In reference to this energy, things are difficult, but they are not impossible. In reference to Ahir Budinaya, I'm butchering the pronunciation, I know this. In reference to the serpent of the depths, your root chakra, your kundalini energy, there is an unconscious change taking place at your foundation. One of the things that's been awakening me at the deepest level, I don't think it's impossible for niggas to do it. You know, I got a smorgasbord of herbs. I got me a goddamn half a teaspoon scooper. I bring out like 8 to 10 varieties of herbs. Get me 64 ounces of water. Scoop up a variety of herbs, put the top over that motherfucker, let it simmer for 25 minutes on low, let it cool for another hour, fill up my water jug. I'm drinking an herbal concoction at a high level, bro. I'm goddamn buzzing off that shit, you feel me? I'm like, damn, niggas they ain't even telling niggas to do that. Niggas is sitting there like drinking a little cup of tea because like, oh, it's tea time. No, nigga, drink that shit like a 40, you feel me? Or just, it's this herb. I mean, as long as you ain't pregnant, load up on the herbs. Right? Because the herbs have the knowledge. I mean, you're going to have to eat. Because another thing, that shit have your metabolism on fleek. Like, motherfucker, you drink all them herbs, you be like, oh shit, I need to eat something or I'm a motherfucking dry heave in this bitch. Right? But I'm saying all of this to say, it ain't your job to figure it out. It's your job to get into alignment. Right? It is your job to get into alignment and understand the cyclical nature of reality. But the foundation, the time, the energy, the structure. If we say like my goal in reference to the energy, I want to do another book on astrology. If I'm gonna write this book and I'm gonna put it out and I'm gonna publish it, in reality, the way that I see the book and how I want to do it is going to take a lot of time. Right? That's the only way that it's going to manifest. That's a difficult thing to say because, you know what I'm saying, I'd be having a lot of shit to do. But at the same time, it's not impossible. And if it does manifest, and it's, Understanding Astrology by Kyrie Anthony, best-selling book, and I'm celebrating like, oh, that shit is #1 bestseller. We popping bottles tonight, y'all. You know what I'm saying? The hours of me writing and sourcing that book, you didn't see it when I was popping the bottles and pouring champagne on the hoes. Like, y'all didn't see it. I wouldn't pour champagne. I probably never. Beyond that point, y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Minus pouring champagne on the imaginary hoes that don't exist, or they do exist. Beyond the point. Okay. Day 63 of semen retention, brother. How did that? How did that feel for the niggas in the back? That's on minute 63. Hood, I just got finished off the Pornhub, bro. I just got done. Your video came on my YouTube. I don't even know if I should have said that, but what's that like? The Sabian symbol of this nakshatra is 4 degrees Pisces. And the story, just keying up the page real quick so I can read it to you. Hey, day 7, niggas is at minute 7, Jazz. Niggas is at minute 7, so hey. Kundalini comes day 75, fool is rising. I thought you knew. I do know. I'm just saying for the people in the back, a lot of times people don't believe me when I say shit. I like to hear other people's perspective, on a particular subject. Somebody said, which is a good idea, use Gemini or Claude to help with structuring a 90-day plan. I worked on mine today. I will say Claude is cold with that shit right there. That's what to be honest, that's what got me even motivated to I was just sitting, like, just trying to think, and then I was just like, it didn't give me the idea. A lot of times when I be dealing with it, it don't give me the specific idea, but it helped me start to get my engine running. You know what I'm saying? For a lack of better words. If you're on day 1 of semen retention, you doing better than a large percentage of the male population. So give yourself a round of applause. For real. That's what I'm saying. When you had them wet dreams, it make it all worth it. You know what I'm saying? It make it all worth it. You like, oh man. Because a wet dream is a lucid dream. So a lot of times people talk about lucid dreams and they try to master the lucid dream. They're like, man, I'm trying to get into this lucid dream. And a good way to get into the lucid dream is through the semen retention. Because the semen retention is the raising of Kundalini, it's the activation of spirituality, it's everything that spiritual niggas be looking for. But the double entendre to this is that it could all be wasted with the frequency of lust. Right? But niggas is not talking about it, so we stay on the outside looking in. It's just abstract conversations like lucid dreams, man. That song by Juice WRLD is dope. It's like, how do you do it? Well, I just meditate on a rope and a ladder and I pull like, bro, when you do semen retention, you don't need no techniques. You don't need a technique to raise Kundalini because the Kundalini is already embedded within the body. The sperm does the work for you. It's like you just charging, saving up all your chi, all of your energy. You're not wasting your energy. You building up your energy. And I promise you, niggas in 2026 is 1 year. You telling me you out here wasting your energy, bro? It's like you making your journey so hard on yourself. So, in reference to that, choose your heart. You know what's easy to do in this life? I figured it out. I don't even want nobody to argue with me. If I wanted to suffer, if I wanted to, get goddamn ramen, try to scrounge up $5 so I can get me some ramen noodles and soap, and my dude down there sold $3 blunts, and I get me a goddamn Philly blunt, cigarillo, trying to master $5. You gotta choose your heart. It's hard to suffer, but it's even harder to be successful. It's tenuous, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. So this is what these Sabian symbols are discussing. It's discussing the concept of traffic or convergence. An analogy was centered in the the um the ocean front. So, like, say for instance, you got a mansion on the ocean front. Nigga wouldn't just say, "Yeah, man, I've been homeless for 20 years and I just bought a." Like, nah, motherfucker was. You would assume that a person had some shit going on for them to be able to afford it. Like, it's like certain levels of status within the world that a person had to work hard to get there. And so convergence is all things leading to a point. So a simple way of looking at this, right? Exactly. You can't serve two masters. So if you got a whole bunch of other shit that you're trying to do, and you got all of these distractions, and you got 15 girls that you be texting and all this type of shit, then you missing the point. No pun intended. But the point is the point. Like, the one thing that you're fixated, focused on, the foundation, everything that you've been this whole 9-year period should come to you should come, if you've been alive for the past 9 years, you should come to the conclusion that you shouldn't even be playing around with this shit. And it's time to lock the fuck in. So an intention prompt is, what area of life are you willing to struggle in to accomplish something great? So before I get out of here, let's run through this new moon through the houses. For me, it's in my 5th house. So it resonated with me. It was just what I was already going through. But make sure you look at a transit chart and bring up your birth date along with the date of the new moon, the time of the new moon, and see what house it is in your natal chart, which will help you focus in one level of an intention and two, a foundation. So house 1, which deals with self and identity, releasing a stale self-image and lay new personal ground. So for spiritualists, they have a hard time grasping the first house, but the first house is the bridge to the mundane. The way for which you show up in the world aesthetically is the way people are going to receive you. So to master this particular house, if Pisces is in your first house, the key or code is to open up the door is going to be your aesthetic. The second house, money and values. Address one structural financial gap and resist disengagement. So if it's credit, don't stop until you get your credit right. And getting your credit right for most people can happen within under 5 years, depending on how bad your credit is. You can either do paying off debt or just building up credit by expanding your credit limit month after month or quarter after quarter. House number, and that's just an example. Wherever you have a structural financial gap, you don't have savings, right? You don't have 3 months of savings. You don't have no savings at all. You check the check with it. As soon as you get your check, it's gone. Resist disengagement. Don't go throughout this whole year without getting you a nest egg. Exactly. Are you going to be your own, or are you going to let drugs, alcohol, lust, cigarettes, junk food? Who's your master? Like, who controls you, right? Is it you? Is it God? Is it your inner God? Or is it the world outside of you? That's real. If this new moon is, if Pisces is in your third house, recommit to a long-term intellectual or local project. If Pisces is in your third house, you can succeed in politics, city council, government. You can win an election, right? If you have a social cause, you the type of person that can get a grant. Where my Pisces in the third house people at? Let me know if you ever wrote a grant before or wanted to write a grant. If you figure this part out, it's going to solve a lot of your problems. Because for one, you doing your purpose, and you can write yourself into the budget. So I need $500K for living expenses. You heard me? That's what I would do. If Pisces is in your fourth house, the moon is in your fourth house. So a lot of these particular things we're talking about, home, property, long-term plans, maybe this is your time. You gotta, Astro Seek ain't down. You gotta get an account. So register an account and you'll have access to it. So we're talking about the abstract and the subtle. I know when we start talking about homes and properties, like, I don't got the money. So since you don't got the money, you don't begin to, think about it. But let's not worry about if you got the money or not. Let's start working with the energy. If Pisces is in your fifth house, your house of creativity, your house of pleasure, Pisces is in my fifth and sixth house, but this new moon is in my fifth house. Abandon shallow distractions. Invest in one worthy creative pursuit. Right? For me, it's just reinvesting my time and energy, my free time and energy. The thing that I'm excited about is really grasping astrology at a deeper level. Something inside of me is saying, man, I want to learn this language so deeply for myself, for others, and I want to help other people understand it. And the reality of this pursuit of mine is that, it's not motivated by money, it's motivated by God. So I don't know what the overall outcome of this particular pursuit will be, but I know I'm in the proper frequency. I've let go of the things that's not serving me, and the things that I'm doing now, I'm doing them, with no friction. It's just an amazing space to be. And, I give credit to my wife. I give credit to my daughter for creating an environment for me to just, just kind of just see myself in a different aspect, and that is very, in reference to twin energy, seeing somebody on the other side, it does something to you at a certain level, definitely my fifth house is activated once again, and then I'm like, I haven't fully started on this particular journey that I'm on, but I'm, it's like I'm revving up, you feel me? So that definitely feels good. So if the new moon is in your sixth house, if Pisces is in your sixth house, your house of service, build a sustainable daily structure and risk the urge to quit a good routine, right? Because Saturn is going to bless you if you put the time and energy into the structure. The structure shouldn't be bullshit. The structure shouldn't be a structure of exhaustion, because that's not the nature of structure. When you're dealing with exhaustion, you're dealing with the absence of structure. When you start to implement structure, you will create the times and energies for the things that you need to do, and you will feel better. When you feel better, you are structuring how you want to feel. And the number one rule of the game is magnetizing the life that you want to live. It is not working hard to receive the life that you want to live. You're trying to figure out this magnetism thing within yourself. And we're on the cusp of it. We're very close. We just got to hold on for a little bit longer. We at 270 degrees, y'all. We about to enter into a realm of full completion. And once this shit is over, you're going to be so grateful that you held on. And I promise you, setting the pure intention of what you want for yourself, you are going to manifest that. But if you doubt in your ability to magnetize the life that you want for yourself, and you doubt it, so you're not going to do the work, you think I'm lying to you? Fine. Cool. I'm not going to argue. If Pisces is in your seventh house, your house of partnerships, your house of marriage, you find yourself in a marriage, what is the foundation of this relationship? It's time to have a talk. You find yourself single and you want to be in a relationship, what's the foundation of your singleness? Is there some childhood stuff that you haven't let go, some shadow work stuff you haven't went through? It's time to do the work. If Pisces is in the house of Scorpio, your eighth house, your house of transformation, what is the thing that is like blaring? Like, is it debt? Is it trauma? Is it pain? What have you been avoiding? It's time to get into some shadow work over these next 30 days. Start facing the emotional things. Because when you clear the emotional things, you're able to see yourself in a true light. If you ever been in a relationship with somebody and they call you a piece of shit, you ain't shit, Yeah, I wish I had a real man. All this type of shit. If you believed it, that's your fault. This person don't know you. They projected how they feel onto you because you're not benefiting them for a particular reason. That's not the truth. You're what, and if you believe that you ain't shit, you gonna start acting like you ain't shit because somebody done told you some shit. So ultimately, negative emotions generally are based on the experience that we experience on the external world. The transformation comes from realizing that the soul is not affected by what a nigga is saying. Period, point blank. Okay? When you personally start invoking your higher self, your Atman, your God within, can't nobody tell you shit. Because they not even on that particular level with you. If Pisces is in your ninth house and you're having a ninth house new moon, this is in reference to a belief system that no longer serves you. A religion, an education, a mentality, red pill, feminism, you name it, Christianity, Muslim, Islam, Judaism, whatever it is, Hinduism. You believe it with your heart and soul, but it ain't getting you nowhere. Let it go. Figure it out from an internal perspective. Man, you is just a number on a piece of paper. You probably are an invoice. It costs $14,000 to come to this temple, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you could come to Peru and do some ashwagandha. It'd be $4,000. You could come on the retreat. We cycle in you motherfuckers like buses. Yeah, you can't come to the 15th, but you got to be going by the 18th because we got a whole crew of other dumb motherfuckers coming. So yeah, ayahuasca, it's the truth. Sure, it maybe is, but if it ain't getting you nowhere, you find you know how many ancient motherfuckers I see talking about mushrooms or ayahuasca. It ain't the mushrooms, it ain't the drugs, it's the individual and the ability to look within yourself to realize that ye are gods or the kingdom of heaven is within you. If the belief system is anything outside of that, an aesthetic, a dogma, an ideology, an oppressor, at a certain point you got to let that shit fall away because another concept of this, no weapon formed against me will prosper. If the new moon falls in your 10th house, your house of career. Now, your professional goals have a lot to do with your purpose. And I don't want to glamorize that word because the person who created the trash truck, he was living in his purpose too, but he was picking up shit every day. But that was his purpose. And it was a glorious purpose because don't nobody want to walk around with trash all over the neighborhoods. So I use that as an analogy in reference to what your purpose is. It might not be something glamorous or glorious. It might be something disgusting that you got to make beautiful. But you deserve to be successful in your endeavors. What is that thing? Don't give up on that thing. Lock into that thing because it's going to happen for you. If it didn't happen for you over this past 9-year period, what have you learned and what can you bring into your next endeavor? I was packing orders today and I was thinking, man, I'm acting just like I was working at my factory job. And I started to think it was a reason why I was working at that damn factory. One's in the chat. I hated that damn factory job, but the way that I'm printing out invoices and ordering, I was like, damn, let me staple this label to this shipping label. I'm like, damn, I got a business. Look at me. So I'm saying all of this to say It was a reason for the season, but don't act like that was where you're supposed to be. Transfer that shit into your own endeavors. It is a reason. You have a purpose. Start with the problems of the world. Start solving them problems. That's your purpose. The best way that you can. That's your purpose. Gain knowledge, gain education, gain certification, gain authority on a particular subject. And over time, and so if Aquarius is in your 11th house, this is your house of community. But once again, we have a level of purpose, a level of totality within the community, within the cause. Who do you bleed for? Who is you going to rescue? Who is you going to stand up for? Because, man, I promise you, the thing about time is that it's cyclical. A real nigga need to hear that. Because I done been to prison. I done struggled mightily in this motherfucker, man. I done made mistakes that you wouldn't believe. But time does not operate in a straight line. It operates in a circle. The snake eats his whole body. You got to believe in rebirth, in the mythology of all of this stuff is talking about you. But you got to understand and understand this actual process of the snake shedding its skin and coming out a new version. If Pisces is in your 12th house, this is the most resonant house. This is where the house, this is where, you know, this is where it all shows up at. You know, you are the leader. You know, it's something about you, you know, because another thing about this particular resonance is that your chart is what one would describe as a perfect chart, an aligned chart. So maybe it's things in your life, maybe it's situations in your life that you got to clear up. But it's like when you look in the mirror and you see yourself, you know who you are. And that's the most important part. A lot of this particular energy, a lot of this particular things that we want to do, we think we want to do it. And I'm here to say one of the most important things is your health and your body. And it's a certain frequency that men exist on, women exist on when we honor our body. And then there's a whole nother frequency when we dishonor our body through lower frequency tendencies, habits, compulsions, and impulses. And these things block us from who we truly are. And then there's a whole bunch of people saying, join this, do this. And the whole entire time, the ways for which you can activate and raise your energy, you had the capacity within yourself. I know when I was 27, 26, I was chasing hoes. So I wasn't thinking about raising my energy. I was seeing what was good for the night. In my later years, I realized that that was a mistake. And, you know, time operates in a cyclical pattern. So it's no greater day to save yourself besides today. And this is the only day you ever had, believe it or not. So I'll leave you with these quick messages in reference to the new moon in Pisces under this Saturn energy. Build with intention, release with grace, because it's all cyclical. You know, it all gets eaten up. You know, when it all said and done 100 years from now, you either made it count or you did it. You just kind of just let it all go. But it's all good one way or another. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. But I hope you go through this energy portal with honesty about what you are building from a personal level and stop being distracted, drifting from what you really are trying to build, and get serious with the overall outcome. So much so that you create a foundation for yourself. In reference to a new moon, we are celebrating. So you want to be celebratory during this particular portal, because the positive energies will carry on. The intentions that ones want to set is that from an emotional point of view. So you mad about something, you setting the intention to be mad for the next 28 days. Do you want to do that? No, you don't want to do that. Man, I promise you, you want to be grateful, you want to be in joy, you want to be in love. Set the intentions of how you're going to feel for these next 28 days. You got to really master this energy. You got to be strong about this energy. You got to be strong about the intentions and intuitions that come through your life. Tomorrow, God can guide you to the person that you're going to meet that's going to tell you about this amazing plan that they want to bring you a part of, and you wasn't even in control of that. You got to trust in the grand architect and how you fit into it. Or the opposite is saying, you know everything, you got all the answers, and you going to figure it out with your wits. At this particular point of the astrological clock, you've been living like that, you've been getting beat down. You should have learned 2 to 3, 4 moon cycles ago that you ain't in control, and it's time to start listening to God. And if you ain't figured that part out yet, stick around. You in the right place. Eventually you gonna get it. You don't run shit. A nigga not gonna save you. A job not gonna save you. Money not gonna save you. You going to save you. But, setting a meditative foundation is key. A structured discipline time to meditate, connect to self is key. And also following through with your promptings, following through with your intuitions is key. Being disciplined when you get that idea, don't get distracted, don't get bored, stay locked in, stay focused, because it is a difficult process. But it's not an impossible process. It's not an improbable process. It's not a hard process. It's not a process that's not going to happen. It's a process that if you give yourself enough time, enough energy, enough focus, it does have no choice but to manifest for you. So I say that all with love and honesty and the highest vibration and the highest hopes for you and your family moving forward. Make sure you set your intentions for this new moon. Celebrate, eat some good food, kiss on your daughters, kiss on your sons, and trust that the grand architect has your best interest at heart. This grand architect is within you. So why would it go against its own self? So with all that all being said, man, that has been a new moon in Pisces transmission from my heart to yours. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please join the Substack for updates on any time that I go live monthly readings, mini courses, all that, and then some, man. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My name is Hood Mystic, also known as Kyrie Anthony. Search me up on Amazon. I got books. Buy some, right? if you want to tap into this, the prerequisite knowledge, man. We about to dive deep into the astrology rabbit hole. No pun intended. But with all that being said, man, I gotta get some dinner, man. I ain't ate all day. I've been drinking this tea, water, metabolism going crazy. But I will see y'all all on the flip side, man. I love y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Happy new moon to the tribe. Peace of the tribe. Peace of the collective, man. Signing off, man. Till next time. Peace. Nobody hires me, even even if they had notoriety, don't know sobriety. Come to the crib, look like a sorority, loving on me, just like it's a priority. The one true authority, impunity and purity. Bonds like she a post bail with a surety. It's a ray of sunshine, no more insecurity. Every day the sunshine is gonna be my horse and me. Made a plan on this plane of existence. Snakes on the plane, race kundalini with persistence. Manifest my dreams in an instant. You can have anything but consistent tension. Nobody high as me, even if they tried to be. You would need eyes to see as wide as the sea. I'm as fly as a bee. I'm the GOAT, I'm the king. On the moat with my team, smoke me. I'm as dope as I sing.
And because how the light changed, I got caught in the middle of the street. Next thing I know, they got firemen, they got ambulance, they got the police, everybody out there with guns, all of my guns out there, just because I tried to run across the street. Nah, fuck with y'all. I was hiding a motherfucker, y'all. I was high as shit. I was smoking that.